Do you have a short fuse tonight? Because this is going to be fun if it's true.
I'm going to be hiding behind everything.
You want to just do two and go?
Yeah, go with two and then I'll just, you know,
okay.
manipulate as we go.
Let's do one more 30-seconder or a 60-seconder because my...
Are you tired of everything that's boring?
Are you tired of being tired?
Tired of sleep?
So 2 cameras up and running.
Tom Barton Sports.
Trying to plug out of there.
You get the shit with that. That's awesome. By awesome, it's kind of shops.
Yeah, I forgot that word. That's where I learned it.
Can't wait to do that show again.
I heard it might be coming back to town for one of the schools.
Say again? I'm sorry.
One of the schools? The school version.
No.
School version.
The internet is for books.
Okay, here we go.
Actually, the internet is for making friends.
That's even gayer. Gayer. Yay, we got it on tape. Your mic's not on yet, is it, Eric?
Actually, it was actually a good school version. I saw it last year. Here we go.
Today we're going to talk about the Nevada State Thespians, the Leadership Conference, the Tech... Maybe I'll get my Letterman jacket letter by the end of the show.
Lesbians?
It's Curtain Call with Erik Ball.
Lesbians?
Hey, welcome to the show. This is Erik Ball, and this is Curtain Call. And we are drinking coffee, and it's in a cup that's very tall. And
Susical closes tonight.
Yes, and that's a reminder that Susical closes. Thank you, Glenn. Glenn's still setting up our equipment so that we can show you our broadcasts on YouTube. You know, we tape them every week, and then we Glenn does an amazing job of editing them and putting them together in nice little cozy little packages and putting them on the internet so you guys can watch us as well as listen to us. And maybe if you have a production that was featured on Curtain Call, you know, link your website to it. We'd love to get more traffic and love to get more people listening to the show, of course. And if you are involved in a production, or if you're a theater teacher at a high school or at a college, or something's going on and you would just like to bring more patrons to your event, get in touch with us. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook. Right now, you can find us on Facebook.
So you're saying you're on Facebook?
Basically, yes. And then we'll get you in the studio and we'll get you good and promoted and try to get more patrons and see. That's what this is all about. We want to promote you. And speaking of promotion, I went and got my ritualistic coffee before the show here, and they have these 7-Eleven election cups, and they have Obama ones and Romney ones. I won't tell you which stack was smaller, but it was funny. And then they have regular cups, and I love the fact that the regular cups are the Green Party cups. They're just regular green cups. But
I want the new Whig Party.
You want the Whig Party cup?
No, the new Whig Party.
The new Whig Party.
They're all for science, science and energy independence, and something else kind of cool.
Oh.
They're into cool stuff.
They're into like...
Well, I want to be part of the party that's into cool stuff.
I would just want to go to a party.
Well, these voices that you're hearing in the background, of course, with me as always is Glenn Heath, the amazing, the unbelievably like running around-ish Wile E. Coyote Glenn Heath. And then our guest co-host today is Jamie Woodard. She's been with us before. She's here with us again, and she's sitting in the shortest seat in the studio. How did you get slated with that?
It keeps going down further and further, but that's okay. I like midgets.
If the jokes don't work, it just goes... Yeah. And then in the studio with us is Alan Strait and Terrence Williams. Thank you for joining us, guys. Alan is the treasurer of the Nevada State Thespian Board and also the scholarship coordinator. And Terrence Williams. Terrence has worked with the Nevada State Thespians in a plethora of different capacities. And so I thought it'd be wise to maybe get him in the studio, tonight as well, because they just came out of a leadership conference and Tech Olympics, and they're getting ready to gear up for a very busy year of events. And so I thought maybe it'd be a great chance to kind of roundtable all these things that are happening on a Nevada State Thespian level. So guys, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it very much.
Not a problem.
Yeah. Well, now let's talk just a little bit, because there is, and that's kind of something that I want to just give total kudos to Lysander and the boys over at LV Taps. They do a great job of putting this little weekend edition Poor Richard's Playbill together on Facebook. You can go to their page, Poor Richard's Players, and like their page. And then it's about everything that's coming up playing theater-wise in the Valley, and then they have audition information. I went last night and saw, I don't know if you guys had a chance to see Las Vegas Little Theater Sideman.
I did not, but I went and saw Nurture.
Glenn
But
went
saw
and saw
Nurture. You didn't?
No,
Or
I didn't.
Glenn
I wanted
did.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw Sideman, and it was a great show. You know, I didn't know anything about that, and so that was a great show. I think they're on their last performance. Susicle's on their last performance. Nurture, is that their last performance today as well?
I think Nurture was, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. So a lot of stuff going on right now that's closing real soon. It usually does
Or
that,
as we
you know.
speak,
Yeah, a lot of summer stuff, and then we kind of have like this another wave coming out of summer, and then we take a little break. There's like a pause, like a seventh inning stretch of the year or whatever, and then boom, one more right before the holidays, and then there's another pause, just like Broadway. You know, there's like dead time. It's like Ghost Town in January, and then coming out of January, boom, we're back again. And so, anyways, so I guess everyone's kind of wrapped up doing things. So, but I recommend if you have tonight, you're not going to be able to see Sideman and Susicle if you're listening to us. So.
You want to listen to us, but
wanna
maybe you
listen
could
to us.
listen to us in one ear from your iPhone, like on,
Yeah,
on the
you can,
radio app.
Yeah, you go to KSHP in the App Store, and you can
Listen
download.
to her. She's been a host for like one time, and she knows about the app.
You know what? Total props to Jamie for plugging our app. Very cool. It's K-Shop, KSHP, and it's a free app, and then you can listen to our show and the K-Shop auction radio show that happens all week long live. It streams live to your iPhone if you get that. Okay, well, anyways, let's kind of throw ourselves right into the mix. Could you guys maybe kind of shed a little light or wax poetic a little bit on what is the Nevada Thespians? I mean, for people who aren't regularly enrolled in high school or anything like that, I mean, what can we
All right,
tell
Nevada
them?
Thespians is basically the professional organization for high school theater students and middle school too. It's a branch of EDTA, the Educational Dramatic and Theater Association, which is national. There are 90,000 members national, and we have over 1,000 active thespians in Nevada alone. This weekend we have conferences, we have scholarships, we have opportunities for kids to compete. We try and get the schools to be more active with each other and to also just advocate theater in general. And it's a great opportunity for the kids, for the teachers, and for professionals like Terrence to come in and get the kids interested to know what's going on after they get out of high school.
And it kind of operates like an honor society,
Exactly.
too, because you know, anybody who's involved in a National Honor Society or whatever at their schools will know that that's kind of like a select group of people. You have to, same with the thespian troops from school to school, they have to earn a number of points, or they have to do enough service hours, or however the individual troop kind of sets up their constitution. They have to kind of gain admission into the troop, and the troop has lots of privileges. You know, I don't know about other troops, but I know that we go on trips. We offer go to the conferences, and the conferences offer scholarship, like you said, opportunities. So it's kind of like, it's just a great way if your student is involved in a theater program at a school. It's a great way for them to, for one, wrap their head around theater more, but more importantly, to kind of find that trampoline that's going to kind of bolster them into whatever avenue they want to go into. It's kind of like a networking thing too.
It is extreme networking, yes.
Yeah, and so what was this leadership conference? Can one of you guys...
every year we have several conferences throughout the year. The first one's always our Leadership and Technical Conference. Leadership Conference is always on a Friday, and the kids actually lead it. We have student state officers who actually run that part of the conference, and they teach other theater students how to make their troupe better. And they also set the theme for the year, and a lot of kids will say when they learn from other kids, they actually learn it better. And so we have these officers, they train over the summer.
Any student will tell you that, though. It's like, those teachers stink. I don't.
I could have taught that.
He smells like my Aunt Marcia. I don't like him.
Oh,
Thank you.
I am on bell duty tonight, so.
Nice.
And so, yeah, they get a chance to teach the workshops and, basically come together as a troop and set the tone for the entire year. And then on Saturday, the teachers are back in charge, and we actually have technical. That's a conference for techs.
Cool.
How to build sets, how to make props, how to compete as a team, and lots of other different things.
Yeah.
I was going to totally throw a curveball at you. I'm going to bust it down for a second here. What is there a stigma with the term techie? No, seriously, because like for some reason people think that that's like the redheaded stepchild of theater. Is techies, high school techies. But I beg to differ, but I'd love for you to shed some light on that, because here's the thing. If you're going to get involved in theater, get involved in any type of theater, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or any part.
At a younger age, when people get involved in theater, it's very cliquish. Like the techs
Yeah.
are like, actors, they suck.
Yeah.
And the actors are like, that stupid tech guy over there did this and that. But as you get older, as you go to college, as you get into the professional world, you realize that you work on the same team.
Right.
But actors are still better.
And actors, Glenn says actors are better. But,
Yeah.
but
He's technically setting up right now too, which is ironic.
you start realizing the techs are there to make you look good. And if you're a tech, your entire job revolves around making the actors look good. So it becomes a lot more synergistic as you get older.
Well, I think that it has to do with the fact that when you're a high schooler and you're very impressionable. I'm not downplaying any of my students or any high schoolers that may be listening. But listen, you're in an impressionable age where a lot of things you got to take in, and you're learning how to deal with it all. I get it. But I think when you get out of high school and you get into the college level and you start having to do things on your own, I think then you start thinking and realizing that the show is not about you.
Right.
Okay, it's about the show, and it's about the art of putting it together as an ensemble. And you can't do it unless you have everyone working together. And so I think maybe that's probably why there's a little less. I remember my college techies. I mean, they were one guy was named Ramboy. Okay, no, seriously, that was his nickname. Nobody ever knew his first name, and nobody really cared, because he was Ramboy. It fit him like a glove. And Ramboy could do everything. The boy could fly. He could do anything. And if we didn't have him, we didn't know how we were going to do the show. It's like, and he was just one out of
Ramboy to the rescue.
Ramboy to the rescue, and he really was a great mentor to the other people too. So I don't know. I just think that every school can point at one or two people that are the lead techs or whatever and say, I don't know what I'd do without these people. But at a college level and definitely at a professional level, I mean, that's what you do for a living. I mean, for crying out loud, is you support the cast.
It is.
You know what I mean? And so it's kind of... Anyways, I just don't want... I always think of when you say Tech Olympics and we came out of a tech workshops and stuff like that, I don't want the student actors to be like, well, that doesn't sound like fun. Everybody bring your crescent wrench. Let's go bludgeon people. It's not like... It's
as an actor, I wanted to go. I thought it would have been really cool to look at some of the workshops that were going on.
There are actors who go, is the interesting part.
Yeah.
There are lots of kids who know nothing about tech who just want to learn or want to experience or find out things. Some of them even are involved in some of the workshops, like the makeup workshops have like a lot of actors come in and sit down and they teach people how to make them up. And
cool.
So it does involve people from a lot of different groups.
Yeah, and
there are even
then
workshops for teachers.
Now, how is it structured? Is there these are loaded questions because I know how it's structured, but I'm just kind of
No problem.
I totally know. But
I don't know.
Yeah, but
I'll answer.
Are there workshops? Is there like a prize at the end of the tunnel? Is there a race around the track and you have to fix the track as you're racing on it?
There are different opportunities for the kids. The main part of tech that gets people excited is Tech Olympics, which there are prizes for the school called the Golden Drill, the Silver Drill, and the Bronze Wrench, I believe it is.
You only get a wrench if you're Brent.
We couldn't afford a third drill.
And so,
That's awesome.
and the teams with the fastest times in these Tech Olympics, and there's different categories, actually win these prizes. And this year was actually great because two schools, Centennial and Bishop Gorman, who had actually never placed in the top three before, actually placed in the top three.
Awesome. Who got the golden drill?
Green Valley High School.
Go Green Valley. Holla.
Yes, Green Valley got the Golden Drill. They won it mostly on the special competition we had at the end. So that's one opportunity, but also Star Costumes comes out every year. Mark Stalls and the group out there, they come out and
They're great.
they give a ton of prizes away to the kids. and they have like 3 hours of workshops dedicated to costumes. And the costumes that come out of this are as good or even better than what a lot of college people will do. They're doing this at the high school level. The person who won the makeup contest, actually, I found out, was a freshman.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
A freshman from Shadow Ridge won the overall costume and makeup, and it was just like,
Age matters not.
It matters not.
yes. He
Well,
has
that's-
been doing it since he's 7.
That's perfect timing too. Halloween right around the corner. There you go.
Yes.
Just put him on the stoop and make everybody up.
I'm trying to picture the 7-year-old who's like, Mom, I want to sew something. Give me the sewing machine and some scrap fabric. I'm going to make a petticoat.
Petticoat.
It was the first thing I thought of.
No, it wasn't. You gotta pay. It's written down there. I can't switch the camera to show it. It's there.
And one thing I was going to say from earlier is about the tech and actor. I think more and more we're seeing a lot more what we call tactors, the tech actors. Because you need to. I mean, the divas are starting to realize that the techs can't ruin their show unless they're on their good side.
Yeah.
And techs will find a way to mess an actor up.
And you know something? I have to ask you a question about just exactly that, but we're going to ask it when we come back because we've got to take a break. So you're listening to Curtain Call with Erik Ball. We're here with Alan Strait and Terrence Williams. We're talking about Nevada State Thespians and the conferences and what all they're doing this year. You know, what's going on. And so hang tight and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Heidi Blickenstaff from Title of Show. You're listening to Curtain Call with Erik Ball.
That is... I know, it's kind of weird.
Monkeys in plays?
Yeah. That's according to Jimmy. According to Jimmy.
I'm sorry, but I love Title of Show.
Oh, it's great.
I love it.
That's a good show.
Write an original musical, original
Yeah.
musical.
Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't go this year.
Express.
Secondary characters.
And Dan Shipley and
I hear that almost every year. Musical.
Nathan and somebody else won the makeup thing as the group challenge. We didn't go last year, and we didn't go this year. But the year before that, we went and the group won the group makeup challenge or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty cool. Yeah, we wanted to go this year, but it's right on homecoming, and we always are doing this scholarship endowment where we perform in, and it's just like it.
We want to do it earlier, but we can't because of field trip commissions.
Oh, and that's a. See, we're a private school, so we don't have to worry about that sort of
Yeah, and
thing.
for us, it's also got the improv in October, so.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just one question for you. Why in the world would you eat, drink,
Are you cold?
anywhere?
If we end up talking,
I'm like dying.
it is hot in the middle.
I wish I could turn the fan on, but you can hear it like crazy.
How do you
Not to
rewind the tape,
mention,
Dana?
Nice.
it's like a little letter one for the high school people.
It is. She has a Letterman jacket for you to win, Eric. It even has a B for ball.
Yes. He's not even interested.
Oh, here it is.
Nope. Ball didn't hear it all.
What happened?
She has a Letterman jacket for you with a B for ball.
Yay, Ball State.
Are you a Ball State person too?
No,
That's
I
his
just my last name is Ball. No, I'm a Jackson College in Michigan, a Roosevelt University in Chicago, and a UNLV Rebel. I only went to Roosevelt University for 1 year though, so but I just like saying it because it's Roosevelt.
Yeah, he does have it.
This, like, I'm all jankified today.
You just did.
Jankified.
You just did that as
We
Doc
already did the
Emmett
test.
Brown, didn't you?
I had people fine.
Oh yeah.
Marty! How can I see
This
anything
is
through
one
the
of the
lens?
things I taught yesterday.
Marty! Marty!
Oh, it's a test. Oh man, I should take this. Let's take this.
You should all take it, Nagri.
I'll take it. I'll fail.
Ooh.
So did everyone. The highest score was 42% in the whole day. I taught it twice.
It's on tech.
It covers scenic, rigging, lighting, paint,
That's wild.
special effects, like everything. So,
I want my mom to take it.
but then after, like, the point was to bust down their little egos.
Yeah.
Then I went back and taught everything on the test.
That's pretty
So
cool.
they learned everything in there before that.
Yeah, we should be having this
Everything
conversation
seems to be on, except I can't see anything through here. All I got is like pink.
Here, do you want to bring us in and I'll...
Pink.
You sit down and I'll play with it for a minute. I'll swap places. I'll...
Which coffee is yours?
This one. I'll bring you in with a thing and you turn these all four on when you're ready to speak.
Of course not. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Go
Kidnapped her.
Hey there, this is Kate Weatherhead from the web series Submissions And this is Curtain
How do you
Call
know
with
that?
Erik Ball.
And we're back. Eric is trying to play with the cameras now since it's his camera that's giving us such a difficult time. So we're here with our wonderful special guest host, Jamie Woodard, and our technical guests, Terrence Williams and Alan Strait. Excuse me. Terrence, I know you've been doing these thespian workshops for a few years, and you actually get involved in quite a few of them. What drew you to them, and because you do the theater ones, the stage ones as well.
There are actually 3 large conferences every year for the students where they can learn things like specific. There's the Tech Theater Conference that's in September. In October, there's an improv conference, like an improv festival, where kids learn different improv skills. And then in March, usually March, there's the State Thespian Conference, which is kids from all across the state.
Right, and that one is the one that's combining of all different theatrical aspects. And that one has the technical side of it as well.
It has tech.
Okay.
It has something for everybody.
Right.
And it's the largest. It's a multi-day event. But I mean, a lot of people in the professional world here in Vegas get involved with the thespians just because they all know what it was like growing up and getting into the industry, and most of us didn't have a whole lot of help doing it.
Sure.
We had to figure it out on our own, and it's a way to give back. It's a way to, teach some people things that we weren't taught when we were their age. So it gives
Feed
them
the
a
next
head start.
generation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm wondering, have you ever had any students come back that you've brought on to work with later on? Because I know you and I have a personal relationship, and I know that you like to bring in people that may not have as much experience. You like to give people some opportunities to get that experience.
Yeah, I had a few things. When I was younger, I did some great things, and then got had people say, "Oh, you're too young for this job. You can't do that."
Right.
So I never wanted to be that person, and so I look at it as a great chance for people to actually have an opportunity, because a lot of times they get shut out from those from being young. There are some people that I've worked with who have then later come back and work with me on different shows, particularly in the technical world. Not so much in the improv yet, even though I've been teaching at the Improv Fest for a few years.
Eric's making noise putting on my...
Eric's making his entrance.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm all right. I'm just.
You have no idea what I'm doing over there on the video.
I
set,
don't.
do you?
Is it 1 and 2? And I just.
Yeah, and 1 and 2 are the ones that switch back and forth.
Oh.
But I've got them on the little swivel, so you can actually turn them and go that way.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. No go on camera 3 then, huh?
No, I don't know what to do with it.
I don't either.
Sell it on eBay.
VHS-C tape. I've got it plugged in. So
The
I'm
plug's
over
probably
here.
dead too.
This is almost like a mini tech conference right here. Like we
Well,
just
what-
teach a
okay.
class on setting up
Here-
a video camera.
here-
Do we have a teacher? Anybody?
Well, here's a question. We're not seeing anything on the LCD screen, and the patch through my composite video cable, because that's as technical as
You got it?
these
I don't
cameras
know.
get.
Come here.
If she gets it, okay.
you get
You get an A tomorrow. If you
Wait,
No,
who's wearing a yellow dress?
Oh, that's
no, that's
sorry.
a recital from. That's like the tape.
Yeah, that's on the.
I don't even remember who that is.
It does have an
not
SD card
saying
slot in it, so.
Oh, maybe the card. Who is it? Do you recognize that person? Let me see.
The show is completely derailed. We're watching.
That train left the station.
We're
No, this is
watching
good
an
because
old
this is technically.
VHS tape, 8mm.
There's a lady in yellow with a grand piano, and I'm looking around the room going, "Where's the piano? I
Yeah.
don't see the piano."
Well, it's a good thing it wasn't something else, because that camera was purchased with educational funds.
No card.
Again,
You know what? Who gave you the bell?
I'm always on bell duty.
You're getting a little
Okay.
excited
Yeah.
with the bell.
That's worse
A
when my
little too
classes stop you
excited.
too much.
Right, exactly.
No,
The
that's
class-
worse.
Oh, that's worse.
So back
than
to
the
tech.
Yeah, back to tech.
Let's put the train back on the tracks.
And it's one of those things that took me probably 3-4 years of doing theater to really appreciate the tech side of things, because when you're first starting acting, you're in that glamorous I'm on stage type thing, which sadly wears off a little bit.
Not for me.
But how do you foster a patience or an encouragement with those students? Because some really just go into tech and that's all they love to do. And how do you get them to a point where they can simply accept the fact that not every actor is going to recognize what they do, because there are quite a few out there that...
I think that actually does a lot with the program that you're in. Because if you have a program where it's all about the actors, they want to be the actors. If you have a program where they acknowledge the fact that the techs are important, and let's say you don't get a part play or not a big enough part, hey, you can do the tech. You can do the tech. And the kids will do it. I'm working with middle school kids right now, and I've been amazed. Some of our kids say, Mr. Straight, when can we do the tech? When can we do the tech? Mm-hmm. They want to do it.
Well, and from an educational point, in the schools themselves, I believe that that's part of it where everyone gets to do everything, and you don't necessarily even get to be on stage until... Because my daughter's in the theater department at her high school.
He's grading his thing.
It's exciting. Every page.
There's a section on paint, and I'm like, I have no idea what's in the paint. I just know what type of paint I want.
It needs to be blue.
Blue paint.
Wait. Does the loser have to get body painted? Because
that's what we did with Carrie Ann.
I know. And,
we need to bring her back and body paint.
Carrie Ann's not here, so.
I
love you, Terrence, but I don't want to see you get body painted.
I'm serious about this. This is a big deal to me. I said this in my blog. I have a personal blog that I read about theater things, and I kind of said theater teachers who don't have a program that offers tech students or people who want to be involved in the tech crew rather an opportunity to actually apply for that position, meaning as if it were a job. You have to apply for it. Maybe even have a process of interviewing or something. If they don't do something like that, then it's it's the same problem with precasting a show. You know what I mean? It's like you don't want to precast a show. You want to give them every opportunity. Like I tell my students at Faith now, this is my personal decisions at Faith, and I'm not saying that's the right one. I'm just saying this is what we do. I tell my freshmen and I tell my seniors who've done lots of shows, I say, when you walk in that door, we're going to do everything we can to eliminate human nature and human, everything. And we're going to give you all the same opportunity to audition for whatever part you want. Now, you need to indicate what role you want first, what role you want second, and would you accept any role. And of course, we're going to try to get you to read for that role and try to get you to, exhibit.
Have their shot at that
have your shot at their number one. Mm-hmm. Okay, and from there, we can determine and deduce where we want to put them in the grand scheme of things or not. That is their interview. That is their application, okay, to the stage. Now, as far as tech is concerned, they need to go through a process. If you just say, well, we know who our lighting guy is going to be, it's going to be Jimmy, and we know that Susie's going to be our costume person. If you just put them in that spot, you're doing them just as much of a disservice as you are the students that you cast before they get a chance to audition, because that ain't how it's going to be in the real world. That's my point. And so it's problematic because you got to take time to do it, and you got to put them through the ringer, and there's maybe accompanied by a roll of the eyes, but I think that it's very, very a vital part of the process. And I was curious, what are your thoughts on that?
What's interesting is I don't hear a lot of teachers think like that. They spend a lot of time teaching their actors. When you get in the real world, you're going to have to audition. So you have to audition here, and this is how you do it. And they prep their actors really well. And then in terms of tech, they say, hey, go run the light board.
Right.
It doesn't work like that later. Those kids don't know how to, prep for an interview and talk about their skills and what they do know and what they don't know and how fast they can learn it. And so the schools that don't do that, the problem they have is, so Jimmy runs the light board, and he becomes the resident expert in lighting, which is fantastic until he graduates, and then the program suddenly has no one who's good at lights for 3 more years because somebody else has to start over and learn it.
Can I ask you, though? I found, and what's ironic about this is that in the last couple of years, and Kelly can attest to this, we had some resident chestnuts, people who really owned... I heard that term about a week ago.
Oh, yeah.
I heard that term. I'm not on camera.
No, I have no idea.
I heard that term about a week ago.
You're just talking. You're not doing any of the videography.
I'm not. We should swap.
Yes, we probably should.
But the thing is...
it's going to be a crappy video on YouTube this week, folks. I am so sorry.
Anyways, we had them graduate.
Sound will be good.
And we have this beautiful facility at Faith. We're very, very blessed. But with that facility comes with an awful lot of opportunity to run sound, lights, flies, all these things. And we had about 5 or 6 kids that were just really good at it. And they all graduated. So this year, we're picking up, and we're going, oh my gosh. And so now we've, and we haven't really adopted the philosophy of you run the light board. We've been doing this for about 5-6 years now, and it's been really good. It's just we always wind up putting the same people after the audition or the
it's almost
tech.
Like you have to have a rotation in between.
Yeah, and we're finding out how to fine-tune that just a little bit. And so I think it's going to be great, and I think we got a great plan and everything. But boy, you got to be careful because there's a fine line between wanting to put on a good show and putting the right people in the right spots and education.
And that's where you are in that kind of, you're stuck a little bit, because you have to provide that education. My question, I guess, to you, Eric, because you do educate. Do you ever? I would think of you would be building the program much like a football team would be building their program. You've got students coming in every year. Shut up, Terrence! Don't laugh at me.
No, it makes sense.
I was just thinking about giving kids shoulder pads to do theater.
Yes,
I have.
Depending on the show.
Good. Magnolias.
Good. Alan's taking me seriously, sort of, because you do have to groom the next class in, and you may have that star quarterback freshman year, and he may start every game, but you've got to get somebody. Yeah. Because otherwise you end up with Elvis Gerbach.
No, college football is the perfect example, like you're saying, because you can't recruit.
Right, no recruiting.
But you can actually make it where you have that junior, senior is going to graduate, and you have like an apprenticeship. Sure. Where you have the underclassmen starting to train, starting to get ready, and then they are the ones who go forward. I like what you're saying about trying to get like kids through audition process, but I know at least in the public schools, we're lucky to have enough text for the show sometimes.
Yeah, you're lucky to have enough funding as well.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
So I have a question to sort of tie this back. Are these workshops that you're doing, the conferences, would that be an ideal opportunity for somebody who is the resident lighting guy to actually go and say, hey, I'm going to take a look at sound?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
they
great
have
question.
plenty of opportunities. It depends on what the kid wants to do. They have their options of what workshops they want to go to.
What are the types of workshops that have been at these?
Like I said, do have prep classes for the different events, which is rigging, knot tying, lighting, sound, set construction, props. I've been teaching a workshop the last 3 years on how to make breakable sugar glass. Terrence does his ultimate tech workshop challenge, which I just basically bombed the first 2 pages of the test.
Terrence will do trick questions, because I was looking at one, and it's like, the type of bolt is used when you only have access to the head of the bolt.
A trick question. There is one trick question.
You put lag screw in there. A lag screw is not a bolt.
Is a type of bolt.
See, now that's where I would
know.
That's where the trick.
There are a lot more workshops than that. There are stage management workshops. There are production management workshops. There are people who come in, union technicians who talk about how you can join the union, like how to actually go out and get a job. There are classes on preparing a resume for the tech world. Anything you can think of. I've been teaching at this conference for 9 years now. So I tend to start getting creative. This year I taught something that was a first, which was a magic tech class.
Ooh.
Well, for those that don't know, Terrence,
super well attended. The first session had
absent.
50 people, and the second session had 79 people in one classroom. They were shoulder to shoulder.
Wow.
The magic was fitting them all into the same room.
Yeah.
Mirrors. Mirrors.
Did you use a pepper mirror?
Yeah.
How to pull rabbits out of masonite. There you go.
I gotta work on that.
Yeah, you know how to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it's really kind of that. It's not a very thankable position, the tech crew, because it's kind of it really is the push and the shove behind the show.
But I will say that if you are very good at it, you can make a lot more money at it.
Oh well, especially in this city.
Well, because actors will do stuff for free, but technicians get paid.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, I'm the production manager at Absinthe. I mean, I make a fair salary. Every single person that works on my show makes more than I do, and I'm their boss.
Yeah.
Tech pays great if you do it professionally. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
That's true, and we've had students, at least I have, go to school at UNLV and work on the strip on a show. I have 2 kids that are working on the show right now,
and CSN I know offers courses in lighting design and to get the full certifications and licensing for it. And there are enough shows in Vegas where they need lighting designers.
Well, and can I just say there's enough theater companies in town too that need talk about practical experience. I mean, get your hands, get dirt under your fingernails just from working at a residence, community
and it's
theater
almost
company.
like we have a very specific type of performance atmosphere going on, so the actors are sort of pigeonholed depending on what type of thing that they're doing. But in terms of tech, there seems to be a plethora of options. I mean, I've seen things where they're like, oh, you have to have a scuba certification as well as being able to do your normal lighting tech stuff. And,
Scuba.
Yeah.
That's for
O and Larev, you have to be a certified scuba diver.
Oh, for like underwater.
Yeah, in case one of the
to be
mic
an underwater
packs
tech.
goes out underwater, they've got to
I
fix
thought
the
it was
mic
an
packs.
anagram.
There are stagehands at O that move set pieces on and off stage underwater. Then they spend almost the entire hour and a half submerged in a million gallons of water.
It's like one show, it's like a double show. The second show, they're just like, where's Tina? Where did Tina go?
She's in the oxygen, tank, so she doesn't get the bends.
Have you ever seen O?
Yeah.
They even, at one point, they make a joke out of it and they beach the techs. They have a stage that has perforations in it so it can pass through the water, and they bring the stage up through the water with 4 or 5 guys like flapping around like fish because they're fully exposed.
What? I saw it like 7 years ago or so. I haven't seen, maybe that's new because I don't remember that.
That's good.
Well, let's take a quick break because let me tell you, this position over here, I don't like this. It's the feng shui of the room, I think, or something. Too many buttons to press. And this one looks like a Game Boy. That's all I gotta say. This looks like a Game Boy.
That was my original one, just to see what was on each of the screens.
I mean, I like it.
It's a portable DVR. It's nothing big.
Pretty
So
cool.
we're gonna take a break.
Yeah, let's just take a break.
Yeah.
And
all right. Well, we'll see you in a few.
Now we know who's driving the bus. It's Jamie.
Yeah. Sorry, Glenn. I don't know what to do with her.
Oh, that's the same one you just did.
Yeah.
Now, Eric, when is your show that we have to adjudicate? Or that we're adjudicating? When is
Yeah, that's coming up first and second weekends in November.
I have to be there the first weekend then.
Oh. Yay! Yeah,
Because I'm flying out to Iowa
Thank you.
this weekend, so.
Oh, cool! I'm excited for you to see it. It's an adaptation that I wrote. She's Wendy, and it's really, really fun. We're doing a lot of weird stuff with it. It's the same story, same concept and everything, but it's steampunk, and we're doing. I don't know. I'm just having lots of fun with it. So. Send me that email. I didn't.
I'm going to take it home and play around with it, Eric, and see if I can get it working, if you don't mind.
Please. Okay. Please.
Did I get everything, Glenn?
I think so. The cord was mine, so...
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Email Terrence.
Steve was just with us.
Yeah, the thing is, we're trying... I think it's funny because we Faith wants to get really involved really bad, but the problem is that because we're a private school, there's a lot of stuff that we normally do. Like there's this Experience the Arts fundraiser that's for the fine arts in March that takes up a lot of our time. We always perform it. We have this endowment gala that we do that we perform in, and it's like,
That is unavoidable.
Yeah. We really want to go. We're planning on going to the improv while we're planning on doing it.
Please don't die now.
Actually, make sure you're
Regionals. Yeah.
Make sure you're registering improv this week.
You think?
The deadline, no deadlines this week. No,
Oh, no, I know that. I thought you meant regionals.
No,
I was like-
regionals. No, there is no cap. We expand.
Okay, good.
Which we'll have absolutely no.
Just spit in this. In the movie.
Yeah, totally. Because that's what I do when I see coffee.
Dude, but what?
Weird science.
Yeah! That's what I'm saying.
Hell Welch.
Morning, girls.
What else did you say?
How'd you like a greasy pork sandwich served in a dirty
Yeah!
He makes like a
Make a
model.
hot girl.
That looks pretty good. Now make yourself one.
Yeah. I think so. Are we back? Are we back?
I love it. Okay, we'll go in 40 seconds.
Let me check the score quickly.
If you want to take any pictures, you can do that too. Unless you're studying.
Thanks for laughing at me for singing It's a Fine Fine Line. I saw that.
It's in the bag, on the counter back there.
3 full bars.
What is this place? I need a place for my sister's bridal shower. Oh.
What's the date today?
Mechanical
It's
Bull.
what used to be kind of like
30th.
Town Square.
30th, thank you.
Oh.
I can't believe it's October already.
I know.
It's freaking me out.
This week's been busy, so.
There's a little like people passing by, but depending on what time of day it was, maybe.
This is Roger Rees.
Roger Rees.
Sending you back to Erik Ball here in Las Vegas.
Thanks for tuning in. This is Curtain Call, and we're here with Alan Strait and Terrence Williams and our guest co-host, Jamie Woodard. And we're talking about, Nevada State Thespians in general, but we were talking about the Leadership Conference and the Tech Olympics that happened just this last weekend. Before we kind of... And let me just say that I'm seated back in my normal spot, and I feel so much more relieved because Glenn has this, mecca of buttons.
Awesomeness.
Of awesomeness. You know what we need to bake? We need to make a bridge like in Star Trek.
We need to bake, too.
We need to bake.
I want brownies.
Yes.
Let's do it.
We need to bake brownies. Okay, fine.
Only
This on the list.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
We'll have to get some of those guests in to bake us some brownies.
Lord, here we go.
My house is closed.
What is...
So I wanted to go through and say what was coming up in the Valley so that you guys can go out and see some theater. So coming up, tonight is the last night for Sideman and Seussical the Musical, so I'm just gonna hope that the seats are filled out there.
You can only go to one of the two.
We wish them the best. I think they both start at 7.
Well, no, Sideman would have been a Sunday matinee.
Oh, so they're done. Okay.
So God is at the Onyx Theater tonight, because Onyx is now doing Sunday matinees at 8 p.m.
Sunday
late
So they're
today.
doing double-header kind of thing?
Late-nays?
Late-nays.
That's lame.
Well, it's better
than mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Where's the bell? Ding yourself, woman.
Fair enough. I'm just mad I didn't think of it.
Wow.
All right, so now here's something cool. Over at the Artemis Ham Hall over at UNLV, September 20... No, that was yesterday. Dang it. Okay, Wicked.
There are no shows.
Wait,
there are no
what if they had a mayonnaise at the Ham Theater?
Wow. We have
Oh my
sunk.
gosh, I just drank a bunch of water and I almost spit it everywhere.
We have sunk to a level. Okay. Wicked over at the. Okay, go to the Smith Center. Wicked's here until October 7th. There's
I saw it. It was great.
I think everyone. Did you get a chance to see it on?
I have not seen it here. I'm trying to see it this week.
Yeah, it's quite good. It's quite a good production. I've seen it 3 times, and I think this is the best one I've seen so far.
Actually, yeah, the same. I saw it 3 times, once in LA and once on Broadway, and then I saw it here, and I loved the Elphaba that was here. I guess she's one of the longest running, or the longest running, and she had just returned to the stage.
She's permanently green.
Yeah, that's true.
And Faith Lutheran had an opportunity. We did our own little workshop with Sarah Schenken, who's a Glinda understudy and an ensemble member. Now Nevada State Thespians sponsored a Wicked workshop as well, didn't they? Just recently?
Yeah, actually, here's what's going on, and actually mentioned Sarah Schenken. She and Michael Mahaney, who is the understudy for Fierro, are going to be performing tomorrow night with 8 students from around the Valley. Different songs from many different musicals, including Footloose, Merrily We Roll Along.
I look like a student. Can I do that?
I know. I want to
Narc.
I want to do that.
Hairspray, a few other songs as well. It's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and it's a benefit, and all the money raised will go to the scholarship fund from the EDTA, and will help send students to college.
Now that's over at Liberty High School,
yes,
right?
Yes, Liberty High School, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Like you said, $15 for a ticket. All the money goes to scholarships. And
yeah, Sharon Chadwick down at Liberty, she does a great job, and she also does a fantastic job of kind of housing these types of events. And this is what we were talking about earlier about the Nevada State Thespians. They have these opportunities, for students like Wicked's in town here, and the board kind of got together and got these people to come and do this performance with. I mean, that's a great opportunity for kids to stand side by side and put on their resume they had a chance to perform with these professional actors.
Is this one that you're setting up? Is that one for any student?
The way it worked was it was open auditions
for any thespian troupe
for about 3 weeks ago, and we had students with about 50 students audition between 2 days, and 8 were selected. There were 2 from Meadows, 2 from Liberty, Green Valley, Boulder City, Bishop Gorman, Legacy, and I feel like I might be missing one unless I did name them all. And these students...
There's one student out there going,
and all the rest.
Yeah.
And they've been working, rehearsing, practicing, and they perform tomorrow night. It's sounding really good. They've been working with Jonathan Twala, who Terrence knows.
I know him.
And it's been really...
Everyone in this room knows.
Yeah, we love Jonathan.
Yes. No, it's been really great, and they are doing great, and I can't wait to actually see the final product tomorrow.
Yeah, so head over... Listen, Monday night, talk about a perfect time to go and see, a show, because usually especially now, especially with high schools, we're talking homecoming weekends coming up and all this crazy stuff that happens. Go see a show tomorrow night. I mean, go check it out over at Liberty High School.
Every night.
Well, you should.
And you're going to see wicked performers.
Out of their element.
Wicked
Without-
awesome.
Does that mean they're from Boston? The wicked performers.
The wicked.
Sorry.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Without the wicked price.
I think there's another workshop that's coming up with that Wicked people are doing.
Yeah, and that's going to be over at Green Valley High School next Sunday, October 7th. And it's from 10 a.m. to... That's what I thought was today. I thought it was today. It's next
I think
Sunday.
the submissions are due today, so if you haven't submitted yet, or they were saying submit by September 30th. or something like that.
now.
Well, here's the thing. If you are interested, I know... Let me go to the website here in a second, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. But why don't you fill them in on the information, and I'll kind of check it out.
Well, let's see. The workshop is $30, or
She's looking at the screen like...
yeah, I know. I can't even read it either. I just had heard about it. I know that on Facebook they had sent some things out, and it is ages 10 to 19 only. So this is again primarily for students. I believe it takes place, like as they said, at Green Valley Ranch. I know. I'm just gonna go and pretend I'm one of them. I'll wear a little backpack and it'll be fine.
You can make it work.
You're
Totally right.
Smile for the camera so that they
Oh,
can
I'm
all.
high.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I'm me. It's just
Well, no,
But,
now
hey,
they know
I
what you
have-
look like, and okay.
they're not gonna watch.
Well, and here's the thing. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out exactly when the
I'll
due
show them
date is.
after.
Pre-registration. It doesn't say anything about a deadline here, but go to Showtix for You. SHOWTIX, the number 4 and the letter U. Showtixforyou.com. Type in Wicked Workshop, and it'll pop up there. It's at Green Valley High School. Thank you, Jennifer Hemme, for housing this. She's also great with welcoming Nevada Thespian events. She's got a great program over there as well. They're going to be hosting this event next Sunday, and should we mention that it was her birthday? Should we? Happy
talking for
birthday to you. Okay, no.
Wait for.
Jennifer Hemme over at Green Valley.
Oh,
And yeah, she's got a lot going on. Golden Drill, Green Wicked Workshop, birthday. I mean, what else?
Her
Dang.
co-teacher
A career?
Your co-worker got caught
Co-teacher got caught in the elevator.
at the conference. Nice. That must have been wicked.
So is there a reason that maybe Wicked is at Green Valley High School?
Green Valley High School.
Jen Hemme, Jason Donter, who's actually one of the main stage managers for the show, works with EDTA, and Jen Hemme and Miss Chadwick, Sharon Chadwick are both, big people in terms of what's going on in EDTA. So when there's something needs to be done, they're contacted. 'Cause
Yep.
they'll get it done.
They're very nice people too, and that always makes the difference.
Yes.
I like nice. Nice is very
Nice is very
Appreciated.
underappreciated. Good, yeah. I'll take nice over anything, and they're two very nice people. So go hang out with the nice people next Sunday
I'll take
at
cash.
Green Valley High School. Check Showtix for You for that. It's actually quite reasonable. It's $30. I mean, and if you think about it, it's the dance captain and the actor who plays Bach. And he's been on
He was
Broadway.
fantastic.
He was in Spamalot. He was in what's his name? Gosh, it's gonna kill me now. I don't know. It doesn't say it here. Yes.
call us up at the show and tell us what his name was in one of the other productions.
and you'll win a free coffee in a Barack Obama cup. Now, anyways, so we have Wicked coming up. Back to the thing. Nurture. Go over and see Cockroach Theater's production of Nurture. That's happening through October 7th as well. It's at Art Square Theater. Go to cockroachtheater.com.
Yeah, it's a great little space. They've done a lot to get it up and running. It's a great first show. I can't think of the actress, Erik Ball.
You saw it.
I saw it last night. It is disturbing, funny, perverse. It's not meant for young kids because there's simulated sex.
They're
on
at
stage.
Susical. They're at Susical. Right?
Or am I thinking of Susical that has simulated
No.
sex? No.
All the
I
things you
saw
can think.
Susical.
All the things you can think.
Put the schnoozle in the woozle and. Anyway,
All the places you go. Let's see how many we can reference. Thing 1 and Thing 2. We could go there. We could go there. We have kids listening. This is a family
Cockroach.
program.
Hop on Pop?
Nurture.
Is Hop on Pop a
Oh,
little
no.
inappropriate then?
Oh, no.
Was Nurture
Well,
any
just
good?
the fact-
Nurture was very good.
Just the fact they're called Who's.
It's a little disturbing, but in a very funny way. I can't really say too much about it other than It is a single father and a single mother who are both very neurotic, dysfunctional, and beyond saving. And it's about them having to raise their daughters.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing.
And there's a dance recital.
Yes, and there's...
I'm trying to think of what else you could say without saying anything.
Leave it alone. That's enough. It's like...
It is one of those shows that deserves some discussion afterwards, only because, in my mind, I did not necessarily find the reality in it.
I have to be honest, I haven't seen the production, but I've read the script.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cool thing.
I want to go see it to see what is done with it, because when you read it, then there are obviously different ways to think of interpreting it.
Absolutely.
Especially this script. So,
well, if you know Erik Amblad from listening to our show last week, you know he is a character, and he certainly brings all of that out. And it is taken to a lot of comedic heights beyond what the script offers. So.
Yeah, and they're doing some great stuff over there at Cockroach, so throw them some love, seriously. And then we have, through October 7th, you mentioned this earlier, over at the Onyx Theater, is Woody Allen's play God, directed by Jeremy Nino, and is it Nino or Nino?
It depends on whether or not you have the schwa
the little
on your keyboard.
In this case, it's Nino.
There you go.
Nino.
Mick Axelrod and Shane Cullum are in the leads on that one.
Just on that topic, because we were talking about the State Thespians, Jeremy Nino is actually a former student of Sharon Chadwick at Liberty High School. He's an example of somebody who's come through the thespian program and is now out doing things in the community.
That's fantastic. And here's the thing: it's a great production, and to kind of add to that, I want to kind of encourage everybody to maybe take some time and maybe try to find a way. I always tell my students this: it's one thing to do shows at your own school in your own backyard, and it's one thing to support schools and events in your own backyard. But that's another thing about Nevada State Thespians that is very, very important. And I could go on the record to say I myself personally could do a better job of this. But we need to go out and support one another. Yeah. We need to go out and we need to see each other's shows. We need to kind of publicize for one another and help each other out in that regard. And
maybe you should do a radio show, Eric.
Yeah, maybe we could do something where we have people on the radio.
You could contribute to the theatrical arts in Las Vegas if you had some sort of medium by which to do it.
So I think that might be the best idea ever.
Well, if you guys are a drama teacher in the Valley, here's the thing. I'm not going to even say if you're a member of the Nevada State Thespians, but of course, I'm sure they want you to be involved as much as you can. If you have a show that's coming up, give us a call. We'll get you on the program. But more importantly, there's a network of teachers out there that really, really, the people that I've met that are the Valley's high school drama program heads, they are the most passionate, caring, giving people I've ever met. And you know what I mean? And it's kind of like I really, really like them for that reason. They really want to help, and they really want to give these kids these opportunities, and they're quite passionate about what they do. So support these programs and go out and see a show, and bring a friend. Don't go alone. Bring lots of people and enjoy a night of theater, because I'll tell you something. Some of the theater programs in town are brilliant. They're brilliant, and talk about the best. I mean, you pay for a show on the Strip, we're talking $100. Talk about a great quality evening of theater that's reasonable, and you're supporting people who are, in high school and passionate about what they do.
And then when we're talking about it, you can call us and talk about it on our future radio show.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very nice.
That's a good idea. We should do
that.
Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, can I ask you something else as far as the leadership side of the workshop? Now, for every state thespian troupe, like Faith Lutheran, Bishop Gorman, Green Valley, Liberty High School. All these different schools have thespian troupes, and they meet regularly, much like a drama club, but it's a little bit more structured as far as an honor society is concerned. Mm-hmm. Now, these you're still taking this test.
Tic-tac-toe
No,
over here? I just see. He puts an X on it, and then it comes back to him, and he puts a circle around it.
I'm sorry, I'm boring you here. Oh my gosh, I'm joking. I'm not boring you. Okay, good. But here's the thing. Now, as far as the leadership's concerned, is that something anybody can take at the leadership conference, or is it for the officers?
It's for anybody who wants to go to the conference. And usually you'll have your main kids who want to go, and the kids who want to go to this conference are the leaders and the officers. But It is for any student who wants to learn more about leadership, because a troop is not just the officers. The troop is also the people who are starting out, just getting involved. And that's one thing about leadership that's really great. One of the largest schools we had this weekend was K.O. Knutson, the middle school. And they had, I think, 30 kids, give or take. And you only have about 5 or 6 officers. I mean, no, as a middle school, if they have officers or not. So.
Yeah. And then there's some schools that have officers like, I'm the chief executive in charge of banners. or some, weird...
I'm the publicist.
I'm the publicist. What do you do? I publicize.
Actually, most troops have a publicist, actually.
That's good.
Do we have a publicist,
How do you
Kelly?
start one of these at a school that doesn't have one?
That's really simple, actually. First step would be contact either Sharon Chadwick or myself.
How do they do that? How do they contact you?
Well, actually, I wrote down Sharon's email, so I could say here, because Sharon does not mind answering. Her email is acteachsfc@gmail.com, or you contact me at, I'll give you my easier one to get hold of, Playwright Hawk, that's WRIGHT, HAWK, @gmail.com. I have to say Playwright, because you know that most people don't know Playwright. The way it's supposed to be spelled.
WRIT.
Yeah, they leave out the W.
No, I'm sorry. It's just Playwright Hawk. As soon as you said Hawk, I looked at Glenn and Glenn looked at me, and I think we both said, what could we say that has to do with the hawk? And we were like, we just had a moment there. Playwright Hawk. I'm sorry, neither of us came up with anything, but that was, I don't know why that made me laugh.
Is that a playwright with the persona of a hawk, or someone that hawks playwrights?
Oh, like a hawk poet or something?
No, hey, I'm going to go, promote playwrights.
Well, actually, which school would you, in the Midwest, you say is one of the better schools for playwriting? Ooh. I'll give you a clue, Tennessee Williams.
Oh.
Nashville.
He's not from Nashville? No, more southern. Southern.
You said Tennessee.
No, Iowa.
Iowa.
The Iowa Hawkeyes.
Wait, Eric.
Des Moines.
More south than Tennessee is Iowa?
No, I thought he was from...
All right, next year I'm teaching geography workshop at the Thespian Conference.
No, I thought...
Oh, I'm never going to go there. I have funny stories about that, but...
I don't know.
So we can contact you guys to start up a thing.
Yeah, or you go to schooltheater.org. That's the theater with RE. They have...
Theater RE. It's true.
I'm totally going to make a theater now.
Unlike the playwright WRITE.
Basically, you go online to those sites and you can find out all the information you need. There's a startup cost, a yearly membership fee for the school, and students pay a membership fee, which is usually one time only. They get access to a dramatic magazine. Teachers get access to other publications meant for theater education.
Yeah, it's actually really great because the dues that the kids pay at the beginning of the year, it kind of covers, well, depending on how you run your troop, I suppose. But you can get like you said, a subscription to a magazine. They meet regularly. You get honors at the end of the year when you graduate. You get cords or medals or however you structure that.
Does it have to have started at the beginning of the year? Because I work at Virtual High School, and I know we don't have any theater things, and we have several.
You do, but they're all digital.
Right. Well, of course.
They're all CGI.
It's like CGI.
Okay, you'd be surprised. We have.
It's like World of Warcraft has like a drama club.
You think it's a joke?
I'm joking. I'll be quiet.
They all go on to Second Life, and they're there with their little avatars sitting on play. I'm just kidding. Anyway, the point is that we have a lot of theater students that are actually. Or students who are theatrical, I should say, or performing artists.
Yeah.
And they'll travel back and forth to LA or get cast in something. And they are always, when they're in that audition mode and not quite doing anything else yet, they're like, hey, when can we do something at the at virtual with our own people? And our student council is actually really big, but several of the things that they do is always artistic because they have several artistic people in it. And they've been bugging me specifically to start something club-wise or otherwise that is theatrical in nature.
You can start any time of the year you want to. The only thing I would say is get done by March, because this year we're actually going to be... There's a straight-up fee for conferences you have to pay to go, of course. That pays for great
Well,
people like Terrence to come.
T-shirts, lunches, depending on the conference.
Everything you have, yeah. And this year, of course, it actually will cost more if you're not an actual registered thespian or a troupe. And so if you get it done by that registration deadline, your cost to go to conference is much less than if you're not.
That's great.
So,
if
your look was like they charge people to come see me. I don't get paid for this.
I knew there was a fee for the conference. I thought it paid for other things. I was like, wait, do I have a fee? Do I get paid to do?
We gave you a check.
I got a check to pay for photocopies. Okay, cool.
I like.
I need to call somebody. I'm losing money here.
Call your publicist.
Call the publicist, the chair of publicity. But if you're like a teacher or an administrator, or if you have a school that has a drama program that is not part of the International Thespian Society and the Nevada State Thespians, you should be. You should be getting involved. And Sharon Chadwick or Alan Strait here, either one of them. Now, what school are you associated with?
I'm currently at Mannion Middle School.
Okay.
I was one of the unlucky teachers a couple years ago with all the budget cuts, so I'm teaching middle school right now. Although actually we got lucky this last year. Actually, plus or minus, we came out even this last year. We didn't lose any major programs. And we lost one, but then we got one back. So it turned out to be pretty good. And actually, we did the math. There's only, I think, of the 35, 40 high schools in the city, only 5 or 6 of them are not involved in one way or another.
And can I get on my soapbox here for just 2 seconds? As far as the situation with the state, and I know this is probably going to go into the thin air and disappear like a fine morning dew, but can I just say it anyways?
Was it eloquent?
Yeah.
You didn't like that?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
You I pantomimed
the
it.
poeticism is just evaporated.
Well, you said Tennessee Williams,
Yeah,
so now I'm thinking
totally flowing.
smart. Now, here's the thing. It's
You
very.
can graduate college.
If you have a unicorn. No, but anyways. But here's the thing. I'm dead serious when I say that. I get so frustrated when they talk about the arts and the arts disappearing from programs, because I can't emphasize enough how important the arts are to a student's bringing up. Not just their education, but their life. Because I read this article about a year ago, and I'm going to mess it up, so I'm not going to even bother trying to get it exactly accurate. But it said something about, in the public school system in general across the country, less than 2% of the kids that are actively involved in their theater programs go on to make a career in a professional theater, in professional theater, which is a very, very, very small number. You have to understand that drama programs don't exist in schools to act as a bridge to Broadway for kids. Right. That's not why they're there. And furthermore, I would argue, just from my personal perspective...
How many kids in middle school football go on to have NFL careers?
Exactly. Good point. And so, in my personal experience, I get a plethora of different students. We get everything from the athletes to the every stereotypical group in high school. And the thing is, I argue that drama is most important to bring people together and to communicate and work effectively in a creative medium together. And you have to do that. I don't care what your job is. I don't care what your career path is. I don't care what you're doing outside of high school. But everybody has to learn how to effectively create and work together. And if you can't learn how to do that, and that involves communication, that involves trust, that involves everything. And that is the backbone of theater.
It involves confidence.
Yeah.
Kids don't always have confidence. They don't have self-esteem a lot of times. And a program like that actually shows them, hey, you can do something. You can do this. You can create something. And people will respond to it. And that's useful no matter what you go on to do in the future.
Yeah, and here's the thing. To say that, well, we don't have funds or anything, yes, I will say that theater has a tendency to be a little prop-heavy as far as what is needed. But... let me just say that I was just going to say, I will say that when I look at the budget for the football programs, I mean, it's like crazy numbers here, And
I could argue, too, that sometimes the theater programs don't speak up enough for themselves in a way that the sports people do, so that we're more willing to self-sacrifice and be creative with the little things that we have.
Well, we're nomads. We'll do a show anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So so I think that could be one of the sources. But yes, it's not. There's too little support.
You wanted to say something. What did you say?
Okay, I was going to say a few things. First, I don't have information in front of me, but I know there was a study done, just came out this year, that showed the 4 main performing arts: band, choir, orchestra, and theater. administrators agreed that actually the program that showed the most connection to success was theater. But the ironic thing is, the programs that are least found in the schools are theater. And performing arts, actually, theater is not the most expensive one.
Right.
Band.
Yeah,
band's very expensive.
I'm not saying we should cut band. I'm not saying that.
No.
We like band.
Because we need them at our football games.
I am a football fan. I'm a football fan too. So I can see both sides. I think you need a balance of both.
But can I?
Well,
I was just going to say,
we had this discussion with regards to sports teams and
because I think
performing
sports
arts.
are just as important as theater.
But I think too much emphasis is put on sports because it generates the most money, and so it's this vicious cycle that schools get more money and people are more interested in seeing these kids play. And
what's your thoughts on this? You can call us and weigh in on this conversation. We have a line that you can call in on if you're interested. It's 221-SAVE, 221-SAVE, or if you like numbers better, 221-7283.
Let's make it a hot button topic. You know, what's more important in schools, sports or enrichment programs?
And you know something. That's the problem. Is that sometimes, like take my school for instance, I will never ever downplay the importance of the sports program at Faith Lutheran because for one, I do think sports are important.
Hey, by the way, my daughter's high school kicked Faith Lutheran's butt in football a couple weeks ago.
Where's the microphone button?
Where's the camera switch button?
Oh boy! But the thing is,
I'm the only one left on the air. Thank you.
I just think that schools in general needed in school boards, and I think that's a huge. This is a whole other topic. I think Las Vegas has a problem, in that we have a school board that is we have many schools and a school board trying to run everything. We need like 2 or 3 school boards in the city.
Yeah,
and superintendents.
I don't even want to weigh in on this conversation either.
Because your job.
Well,
she's gonna stress out.
We both work for the district, so
we do.
we know.
Yeah.
And you feel, and all of us here being fond of educating the masses.
Well, and in the perfect world, if there needs to be cuts, they would do it equally across the board, and everything would be effective. But that's just not how it happens. And unfortunately, what is perceived to be the lesser needed programs are the ones that go to the wayside. And my argument is that kids suffer from that. We have a desensitized society right now that are buried in their Facebooks and buried into the computers and buried into their cell phones to the point to where they cannot interact and connect with one another. Theater is essential for students today. That's all I got to say. Soapbox, I'm getting off of it. There we go. And now I'm going to drink some coffee.
Let's talk about unicorns. Because you mentioned unicorns, and I'd like to know what to do with one if I had one.
I'm going to answer. No, I'm going to segue back to your topic. So at the tech conference, I taught a class called Ask a Production Manager, and it was for teachers and students to bring like problems or things they need help with idea-wise.
That's a great idea. It's like Ask Jeeves.
Kinda, but like I'm like my job every day is to come up with creative solutions for problems or to take just a simple idea and actually plan it out.
Right.
So I had just a marker board and one marker, and I had people, like the first thing was a lady at a high school who wanted to do the Jungle Book, and they wanted a waterfall that was 12 foot tall and 8 foot wide and had no idea how to build one. And so I drew the entire system out on the board, and she took a picture of it, and she went on her way. The second girl was doing, she's a high school student, and they were doing The Wizard of Oz, and they wanted a way to represent the tornado uniquely, but she hadn't come up with, because she just hadn't come up with any good options for how to represent it. So I gave her 2 or 3 options, and she told me which one she liked, and I told her how to build it.
Cool.
I think we could come up with an answer for your unicorn.
Well, no, I was being facetious because Eric just casually went off on his soapbox tirade.
Just because I have Tourette's doesn't mean you can make fun of me, butterflies.
Thank you. Terrence, have you considered doing more of this? Because I know you do it annually, but have you considered branching out a little bit and doing it with the theaters in town? I know that there's got to be some call for it, and I know that every theater probably has their on-site person that can do these things. But I've seen some of the the coolest things come out of you. The whole LED remote-controlled Technicolor coat from Joseph was brilliant.
I'm sorry, something's going to be LED down the road at Faith. I don't know what it is.
Sure.
I mean, we're doing Legally Blonde. We may put Bruiser in an LED coat and just be done with it.
LED dog coat.
Why not just make a robotic dog?
I know somebody to do that.
Don't give me any ideas.
I think that's an interesting idea. I mean,
it's certainly a marketable skill that you have, and
it's an interesting point because even like the community theaters in town, everybody's at a different level.
Right.
I'm certainly not the only one at a higher level than a lot of people technically, just because of my work. Like this is what I do. There are plenty of people that do, but there aren't a whole lot of people that ask, and maybe that's like maybe we come off as unapproachable. I don't know, but I most any time I'm asked to help with the show, I usually come up with some way to help the show.
Yes, and you're able to do and take this as a compliment, Rube Goldberg type stuff. You're able.
Wow, good
Thank
reference.
You're able. You're able.
You
to
mean Herman breakfast machine stuff?
Yeah, you're able to take a Kleenex, a toothpick, and some duct tape, and save the world.
Theatrical MacGyver.
Yeah, and I've seen it. I've seen it many times over from you, and
well,
I admire it.
Well, thank you. It's funny because Alan's been sitting here taking this test that I gave to the students.
Yes, we keep hearing the paper shuffling on air.
I'm sorry. There's a reason that I do this, which is to help teach the high school techs. Because in high school, a lot of times you have the techs that are at the top of the department, and
right.
they do everything. That they start to develop this attitude that they actually know everything, and it's not intentional. They're not like in their world. They do know everything. They just haven't seen the bigger world. And so I have a workshop that I teach where they start the workshop with a 100-question test. And it's all the things that I didn't know in high school that would have actually been helpful to know. Like, it's not just trying to be hard, but the idea is, here, see what you really know. And then I turn around and start teaching them stuff. Yeah. It's all practical.
Information.
Not stuff you wouldn't actually want to know.
Right.
And then I turn around and start teaching it. But it's great because you see eyes open and people go, oh my gosh, this is like the tip of the iceberg. Because even these questions, this is actually a third of the entire, like I've taught one at USITT that's 300 questions for college students. And it's much more intense. It takes 2 hours to do.
Look at it this way. It also is based on their own backyard. You know, if they have a theater that doesn't have a fly space, they're not going to learn remotely the backstage element that they need to in order to succeed. We have, Faith Lutheran has a beautiful space, but we don't own a single intelligent light. And that's a huge problem.
Wait, there's no intelligent life at Faith Lutheran?
No, lights.
Lights. Okay,
lights.
Sorry.
That would be a light that moves. For
yeah. And so it's kind of like, I think that space demands them.
Yeah.
And so that's something that is unfortunate because we maybe down the road, but
you have
maybe down the road.
flashlights.
We do have, well, they could shake them. But the thing is, that's going to be something that they're not going to learn until it's time to learn it. So it's like when that's why I think cross-curricular and cross-schoolicular things is very schoolicular. I just made that up.
Absolutely. And with Glenn saying about the community, I think there's an opportunity for even people in the community to come together and actually expand their knowledge.
And I don't want to say that the community does not work together.
Oh, no, they work together.
Because I've seen it many times over where, hey, I need this, piece of equipment. Do you have a spot I can use? Hey, my speakers just blew. Do you have something I can... And
I try to loan stuff out to anybody who needs it. I know Terrence loans stuff out. I'm going to be
a relatively collaborative.
Yeah, I really think.
But I think the idea of having an actual structured, some sort of conference thing might actually be fun.
Is Alan or Terrence, I suppose? Is there any? Because I know Clark County School District has like this connected emails infrastructure that teachers can get in touch with teachers even at other schools. Okay, but for somebody like me or Bishop Gorman or Meadows that are private institutions, they aren't connected with the Clark County School District in that regard. Is there any website? We need to get like a website, a community forum for drama teachers in Las Vegas. And like maybe an inventory of what we have, stuff that we could do for you. That way we could post our shows and what everyone's doing. Is there anything like that?
Because you guys aren't allowed to rent out previous sets or costumes because it's district property technically, isn't it?
Not really.
Yeah, there is a site for the CCSD teachers, and we do have a calendar Yeah, he knows me.
Is there any way for like private
He
schools to get involved?
right on
what
that
we do
page.
is we try to make contact with the teachers. For example, there's you, there's Meadows, there's Bishop Gorman, and the Thespians is the best way to keep in contact.
Right.
Because I can say, sadly, that one problem we have is that some teachers don't share what their shows are going to be.
Right.
And so, like, I was looking tonight, actually, I think it might have been the calendar was malfunctioning. Not a single show popped up. I think it was because the calendar was malfunctioning. But we do have that access, and one thing I think we are trying to do with Thespians is to try and get schools to get in more contact.
Right.
That's actually one thing I was told to do this year is, Alan, your job is to go to as many shows as you can around the school district. And so that's
Sweet.
one thing I have to
Peter
do.
Pan, November.
Yep. See it.
I'll write them down, send it to me. I will do my best I can to go. And so that's one thing that we are trying to do. And
That's fantastic.
one thing that Thespians actually gets a chance to do, because it just happened this weekend. If they get in the process, I know that Arborview and Northwest Tech actually just this weekend decided, you know what, we need to do a show together. Because
Whoa.
Northwest Tech has very limited stage space. And they hosted the conference weekend, they did a great job, but their facilities is still somewhat limited.
You know what I've always wanted to do, and can I interrupt you?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no problem.
I've always wanted to do this, and I'm saying this to all my fellow colleagues out in Las Vegas.
I already know it. It's what John Sangster did. And
I think, yeah. I would like to throw it out there. In the future, I would love to collaborate with another high school, and maybe do either a collaborative casting of a show, and maybe do a in conjunction with a collaborative casting of another show that they're putting on at their school, kind of like Wife Swap,
Yes.
and then collaboratively, hang in there. I want to finish my thought.
Yeah.
And then collaboratively, we offer them to the two different schools. Like have a weekend of this show A at my school and show B at that school, and then swap it for the next weekend.
And then how do we eliminate them?
So it's like a rep schedule.
Well,
You are the
Yeah.
wrestling.
All
Good boy.
right. So it's like a high school repertoire.
yeah, and here's the thing.
exactly like
I'm throwing it out there. I would love to collaborate with another school in that regard sometime down there. We have this season already planned, but next season, let's talk because this is something that talk about totally
Well,
putting.
licensing fees would be fairly inexpensive doing it that way, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
But I think Jimmy has a great idea that
Wife swap?
I'm gonna whisper.
What,
so
like-
people
what, like
don't
do a
actually listen
radio
on the
show?
You know what you should do on April 1st? Why all the teachers should go to different schools. I like that.
Oh,
Teacher swap.
Just saying. Okay, no one heard me say that because I whispered.
can we dress like each other?
Yes.
Awesome.
You've got a student sitting back there.
Elena Ferrante
She's,
Martin,
she's
I want your
already
school.
posting that on Facebook.
Elena, I want to come as you at Bishop Gorman. Okay.
Yeah, Bishop Gorman's got some good shows.
Yeah.
Oh, they do a great job over there, and they got a tremendous program. And here, that's the other thing that I want to dispel right here. There's weird rivalries as far as football and different sports are concerned, but I just want to throw it out there and say that there is no rivalries with drama programs. I mean, of course, there's good. Well, here's the thing. There's good.
There's just rivalry within the drama program.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's good, clean, fun rivalry if you want, but I would
Unless
argue
you get cast as the lead and your best friend got cast in ensemble, there's
Or
no
didn't
rivalry.
get cast.
Or no,
Yeah.
or has to
Well,
do tech.
Mr. Strait, why did I get a bigger part?
It's like, well, I don't know.
No, my favorite was the kid who walked out of the audition and said he blew his audition, and then when he got a small part, he got a part on the show still, but he said, Mr. Strait, why didn't I get a bigger part? I'm like, you said you blew the audition.
Don't blow the audition, and maybe we'll give you a part. How about that? All right, well, we got to take a break. We'll be right back, and we'll talk a little bit more on Curtain Call with Erik Ball. Hang tight.
No, the term I used was we are constructive, not destructive.
It's Janice from Friends.
Can you turn me down again more
Oh, sure.
in the ears?
Big blues.
Yes.
His sensitivity is.
Yes.
You guys are funny. You too. I think that's a. You know what we should do? We should just get a website like Wix or something, and just.
That's what I've been doing with
Let me
mine.
talk to
there's-
Corey about our website. We might be able to add something to it because we're redesigning the website this year.
Yeah,
So-
right.
He designs websites too. I'm just saying.
Wix is quick and down and dirty and easy.
Yeah.
Can I tell you though?
WordPress?
I think people don't do it because nobody wants to manage it.
I thought WordPress was.
I think the thing is some people
manage
don't
it.
want other teachers to see their shows.
No, but
I don't get that mentality.
Sean Critchfield is putting stuff together for the
Yeah.
others, and you need to put it in the education portion.
What's that website that Sean's
I
created?
want.
I don't know.
I wish I had more hours in the day that I could go see shows. That's the only reason I don't go is because I overbook myself and I don't know how to say no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's true.
It is true.
And so it's kind of like I would love that. I would love to get like a community board that everybody could just go to.
Okay, sorry. Just had to have a growling moment.
Why?
Because I've been talking about that for like 5 years.
Then why don't you do it?
Because Sean's already doing it, so is somebody else. But
Sean
then it just-
Critchfield?
yeah.
But Sean Critchfield's community-wide, though, not just school-wide.
No, but that's the point. You do it on the community-wide one so that everybody's still in the same location and just have an education section.
That's smart. Yeah, don't reinvent the wheel.
No.
Explain to me what the difference between Wix and WordPress is.
WordPress is a blog site, but you can manipulate it to make it a website.
Wix is...
It's not even a
It's
blog
just
site
that
anymore.
it's just that it's limited.
In what way?
Always.
To the template?
No, I'm curious. I mean, yes, the templates are...
I mean, like, you can't, like, make it do anything custom. Like, it's very much like, these are your pages, drop your content in. You know what I mean? I mean, it has some. I'm not saying it has none.
Well, it's flashy.
But, like, you know what I mean? Like, WordPress has unlimited options. Like, it's an engine instead of... Wix is like, this is our car. Put your stuff in the car and let's go.
Yeah.
WordPress is an engine.
But
you configure it the way you want.
But I'm wondering is it modular with WordPress so that you don't have to understand?
Absolutely.
What,
There's just plugins. You just drop them in and go. Like,
there's plugins on Wix too.
Yeah.
WordPress is more universal, and when you run into a snag of something that you want
well,
to
and
do,
that's what I'm trying to find out with Wix is that it looks like crap on Internet Explorer.
That's my issue. And then WordPress is also self-hosted, so you actually can put it on a server that's faster than Wix, because Wix is notoriously slow and crashes.
Yeah.
You know, so you're at the mercy of their bandwidth.
you have more potential for growth. You're not limiting yourself.
Just saying.
Well, I'm
but of course you're going to get
I've already
from me.
been doing all this stuff for the last 2 weeks.
You're already there.
You're watching Curtain Call with Erik Ball.
Welcome back to Curtain Call. We are sitting here with Alan Strait and Terrence Williams. Alan Strait is the treasurer of the state Nevada, well, rather the Nevada Thespian Society, and it's basically the board that runs all of the different troops in the state of Nevada. And we're thrilled that you're here because we just had a leadership conference and a Tech Olympics this last weekend with all the high school, not all of them could attend, but a great deal of students this weekend. And we have some other conferences and things coming up. What's coming up?
Our next conference is actually our improv conference, which is going to be at the end of October, the 20th. That's a one-day conference, and that's a fun one. Terrence is there. You're going to be there too.
Yeah.
It's a fun conference. Kids get a chance to basically make stuff up on the spot, which is great. Kids love doing that.
Cool.
And it's not just basic stuff. I get stuck, and I say that because there are only a handful of people willing to just walk into a room and try to teach this quickly. I teach musical improv to people who have never improvised. And I sit at a piano and say...
Go with us.
And,
Go with us.
And the thing is, like, kids come in and they've never even... Like, some of them have improv skills and some have never improvised. Some have never sung. And we get everyone to sing and make songs up.
The tough part about, and it's not that you get stuck with it, Terrence, is that you can play the piano and not every
person can.
I would love
My
to do
piano skills are...
I would love to do the musical improv and
when is this again?
October
but my limitations are the Irish drinking song and hoedown.
We play a lot of hoedown.
I know.
It's a good beginner's game because there's a really solid structure.
But getting into the the madrigal type games and some of the long form games where you have to understand some of the basic musical structure.
No time for that because they're an hour per group.
Yeah.
But it's nice though because the classes are in all sorts of things. It's not just a bunch of kids playing games. Like they're actually learning solid skills from trained professionals and people that are really solid.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you're a part of the Nevada State Thespians and you have a troupe at your school, you got to get registered for that next week. Because
it's this week.
So you mean I have to form a troupe right now?
Form a troupe.
Or if you want to, you could just simply say, "I want to go and view," and we can get you registered.
Yeah, you look like a kid. You can just go in and
and observe. And that's how I learned, because my first year on board, I didn't have any kids there. I was at school, and there was another teacher handling the theater stuff, and I just went like, okay, we're good.
Now, is it just for the high schools or middle schools as well?
Improv is just for the high schools.
Okay, that's what I
Every
thought.
other conference is for middle and high schools.
Okay.
We don't want the Rugrats in there.
Well,
for
no,
improv.
well,
the reason why is because sometimes the kids will get to more mature content in their improv.
They don't try. It's first thing out of their mouths.
Yeah, and so we're going more careful there. And then
By mature content, we mean like Tennessee Williams and Tolstoy novels and.
Yes. And 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, kids are like, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
I was born in a small Scottish hamlet.
That's actually what's coming out of their mouth.
be or not to be. That's just
Shakespeare improv.
Although actually, once you break down those authors to their basic stuff, what's going on, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's all about. It's all about hooking up. It's
Yeah.
all about some things
That's
never
a fun game,
change.
Terrence.
I know.
So the dual scene, you do a regular scene and then have to recreate the scene in entirely Shakespearean style.
Oh, that would be so fun.
It's a lot of fun.
The King's English or whatever.
And the horrible attempts at iambic pentameter.
Now, and then in March you have regionals, state regionals.
Regionals actually is going to be January.
Or January, rather.
And that is strictly competition. Kids they do individual events, competing either tech events or acting events.
And that's including monologues and scenes.
Monologue scenes,
One acts.
musicals. They have one act competition, yes. And then if they get an excellent or superior at regionals, they get to compete at state. However, state is open to any high school student that wants to go, and middle school students as well.
Oh, wow.
And so we've done really well of getting the high schools in the Valley to be involved. We're working on getting more and more in the middle schools. And
Yeah, and again, if you want to get involved, the best way to do that is to get in touch with Sharon Chadwick over at Liberty High School or Alan Strait here, and he's given out the email addresses. Give us your email address one more time, Alan.
It's I'll just spell it out. It's easier. PLAYWRIGHTHAWK@gmail.com.
So it's playwrighthawk@gmail, and get in touch with one of these two. Let them know that you're interested, and they'll kind of step by step you. I know that.
Fly like a playwright hawk.
Oh my gosh!
Into the future.
You need theme music. Though. That's what we definitely do.
That's my job too.
Well, let's let me. Can I dial it back from the kind of the formal institution that is the Nevada State Thespians?
Yeah.
Thespians. Thespians.
Yeah.
No, Nevada State Thespians. Anyways,
Did you ever know that you're my
Playwright Hawk.
and can we talk in general about theater in high school for a second? And can I ask your opinions? All three of you, guest co-hosts.
What am I, chopped liver?
No, you stay over there. Now,
and there goes the camera.
Thank you. What would you say for a student that is interested in getting involved in theater but doesn't know how to start?
Are you talking about professional or at the school?
I'm talking about at the school. Here's what I think. I think that there's a pool of untapped talent that they just don't want to get involved because either they're intimidated about the process, they're ignorant to the whole process or whatever, or they feel like it's, like you said, an elitist exclusive country club that they are not invited to. How would you how would you tell them to approach this?
First thing I would say is just show up and see what happens. Every teacher is different, every program is different, and you'll find different scenarios what's going to happen. But the majority of teachers are always looking for more kids because you never know who that untapped resource could be or who that star will be. I know when I was doing a show a couple years ago, I thought I had the show cast in my head before I went in for auditions, and before it was all said and done, 3 of my top 5 leads I had never seen before. And I know the first...
They just walked in and said, "I am Batman," and you're like, "Cast."
It was a musical, but yeah, it was. So their singing was.
You did Batman the musical? That's awesome,
dude.
No, actually,
Tams Whitmark. I'm going.
No, or was it Bat Boy? Because there is a Bat Boy.
Bat Boy.
Yes, Christian Charity. That's fine.
That's a choice. I would pay to see that. I would.
So yeah, the main thing is show up, and that's the first thing you have to do. Ask questions. What do I have to do? and the teachers are eager to tell you what's going on. They always want more kids, whether it be for tech or for performance, because like
Theater teachers are not boring teachers. They will talk to you.
Yes,
Present
we
company.
love to talk.
What?
What? No.
Butterflies?
Okay, so what I would say to students.
Yes. Yes. Awesome.
Jamie is not fulfilling her guest host duties.
No, I
She's
think
just
she's
like,
driving the bus. I think
That
she's
is-
helping
that is
you guys out.
that bus went off the cliff about an hour and a half
Maybe,
ago.
maybe.
I'm just waving at you guys are all going down.
Oh my gosh.
No, I would say to students just basically two things: never give up, never surrender, and you always miss the chances that you don't take.
Spartacus.
No. What movie is that from? It's from a movie.
What's
Never
your-
give up.
You miss 100% of the shots you never take.
That's
Is that-
That's my
no,
quote,
that's the
Jordan.
quote. That's the good
Okay.
quote
Well,
I was trying to say. But
Okay,
they,
good.
no, the never give up, never surrender is, I think it's from like the one that was like a Star Trek movie, but it was the spoof.
Hoosiers?
Oh,
Spaceballs.
No.
the one with Tim Allen?
Yes.
Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was in that.
Oh yeah.
No, surrender!
Galaxy Quest.
You're absolutely right.
Oh my god, what a great movie. I grabbed Thor's hammer. Wow, what a
If I
scene.
hear that line
That
one
is
more
awesome.
time.
But can I...
Than Jew.
Alan Rickman, man.
I did Richard the Third. Nobody remembers me for that.
For all the high school kids listening, if you like Professor Snape, you should go watch Galaxy Quest and see what it
Actually,
used
Galaxy
to do.
Quest is hilarious.
But it was before all those movies.
Or go see Closet Land
Ooh,
with Alan Rickman.
good choice.
Have you ever seen that
I've
one?
not seen
No.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Ooh,
I was
yeah.
just saying I saw Alan Rickman on Broadway in Seminar. It's one of the
Or
best plays
or
I've
Die
ever
Hard.
seen.
that. Oh,
I read it. I thought it was brilliant.
Die Hard has
Die
Alan
Hard, the
Rickman.
very
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. That's
Well, can I ask you now going back a little bit, how has theater changed since you were in high school? I mean, what was your experience?
I went to high school. First of all, I'm from Georgia, and I grew up in a town called Snellville, Georgia.
That is something you can't make up right there.
That has a slogan, and I'm going to tell you it so you know where I come from.
Okay.
I come from a town whose slogan is, "Everybody's somebody in Snellville." Wow. I can only aspire
It's like a
to
Stephen
come up
King
with
novel.
slogans so good as that. But I went to high school in a area that is not really known for theater. Amazingly, the theater teacher at my high school was an equity actress. Got really lucky and had a phenomenal theater teacher. However, what has changed, I went to school in a high school with no fly system, very small wings, very small house, actually, like very limited in what could be done. And so
Was it a converted theater?
Nope.
Some of those
Built
converted
from
theaters are
scratch,
like
but they just did it on the cheap.
One of his modulars.
But the
like
advantage
a pod
to that
with
is
seats in it.
pod. It seats 10. Come see the show.
It's a black box. We painted it.
It's a white box. But working in a theater like that actually makes you work more creatively to figure
Yeah.
out how to stage things. And this is no offense to Faith. I think
No.
it has an amazing space. But
Can I
sometimes
tell you, it's hard to
you
put
luck
stuff in
out.
there. It's hard to put stuff in there sometimes. Fill that space, man. Oof.
You know, in terms of like
Good problem to
kids
have.
and learning skills, my high school had what's called a 2-scene preset light board, which is old school. It is before they were like
Analog.
Now we have programmable light boards.
Yeah.
And before we had programmable light boards, we had digital light boards. And I learned on an analog light board, which was basically the power actually ran through the slider under your finger, which means that if you had a loose connection, you might shock yourself when you turned the lights on. But what's interesting
A little
is
hamster
now,
on a wheel under there.
now kids will start with the more advanced technology, and when something goes wrong, they are completely lost because they never actually learned how it works.
It's the same thing. You
Like
take
when
your
they're-
cell phone away, they are lost.
Absolutely.
They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to communicate.
Well,
They
also
have to
don't know
talk
how
to
remember
someone?
anything.
Yeah, they
Have to walk somewhere
they
and say
spend their
something?
days
Wait, and what-
retracing their steps
A
to
stamp?
find what their standard is.
I have
They
to put a
will not
stamp on
communicate.
an envelope?
Wait,
Can I tell you something about that
I
though?
don't
Can I tell you
think
something? No, I want to.
No, you may not.
There was we did something last year during Christmas where we were sending letters to retirement community, wishing them Merry Christmas and sharing pictures and stuff. Half of my middle school class did not know how to address a letter,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" It really upset me. I was like, "What are you? What? Who dressed you this morning?"
When we did Annie last summer at Super Summer, Glenn knows this. We had all these little girls, all these orphans.
Yeah.
And we're working with period props, and we have a rotary phone that's actually from the 1930s. And the kids are staring at it. They're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Well, this is what phones used to be like before they had push buttons." And then, it's certainly understandable that they don't know what a rotary phone is. If you were born in the last 10 years, then why would you know what one is?
Right.
So, like picking up the handset and demonstrating, like, this is how you dial the number, and it makes this little clicking sound, and this girl's staring at the phone and staring at it, and she makes this face, and she looks at me, and she goes, "But I'm confused. Like, how do you type your name?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "To send a text."
You have to hit B 3 times to get the letter C.
Do you remember those Nokia phones?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
But
Good times.
But from her perspective, the rotary phone had letters on all the numbers still, so she thought this
you
must
take out a
also
telegraph
be
machine?
a keyboard for sending text. I just don't understand how you send, like, how you tell it what.
You want to know what else
Remember
is
that
funny?
telegraph.
We
Right?
had some Australian foreign exchange students just visit the school this last weekend. It was so funny just eavesdropping them at lunch. They were just like, so and this was a question that was asked. So do you have cars in your city where? And I was like, did you crawl out of your huts and put some clothing on and then fly? What the heck world?
That's very insensitive,
Isn't it? And it's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I mean, these are human beings here.
Ask any of your students if they've ever seen an 8-track or even.
Well, yeah, but that's the traditional one. I mean, the rotary phone one, and just I don't know, the idea of a telegraph or a record or there's things that are still you think are more common now, and they're just not. They're just not like writing a check.
There's certain things that you need to do. Write a letter, write a check.
How many people in this room still have a checking account?
Me.
Okay.
Everybody. Oh, look, intern.
Even intern.
Whoa!
Good job. Good
Kelly's
job.
got some money.
But do you write checks, Kelly?
I learned how to.
Okay, good. She said she learned how to.
Everybody needs to see Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I referenced that the other day, and some of my kids were like, "What's that?" And I was like, "You've got to watch that movie. It's like one of those movies you've got to see." I know, right? It was really upsetting.
But I argue, why do we need to learn how to write a check?
Rent.
No, not anymore.
You obviously
Building.
haven't seen that new series where all the power goes
You know
off.
what? There are still some. Yeah.
No, there are some things. The check
Yeah.
one and the letter one, I can say, okay, yes.
Yeah.
The letter one, you do need to learn how to communicate when the communication goes down. Yes,
Or when you're in prison.
Well, if you go to
Because
prison,
not everyone gets
Well, I
cell
would
phone.
argue
That's
they
what we
would,
really need
they
to
would be able to learn when they were in prison.
I imagine you learn a lot of things.
I
once you
think
get to prison.
I think everyone should spend a week in
But
prison.
even writing letters, when's the last time? Think about this. When's the last time you sat down and hand wrote a letter?
Okay, we all have homework.
Hey, intern Kelly!
I want everybody in this room to write a letter before next week.
Okay.
I'll write a letter to my Grandma Bones.
Great.
And I'll be like, Grandma Bones.
I don't know if I'll mail
You
that,
have a
but-
grandma Bones.
Yeah. My mom's maiden name is
Erik Ball.
Bones.
Just
Bones.
in time for Halloween.
Grandma Bones. Grandma Bones and
And
like
Erik Ball.
Erik Ball, and it's funny. It's like Bones, Ball. There's a bear. There's a low, and then there's a Gildersleeve. And I'm not making this up. I'm serious. Bear, Ball, Low, Bones.
That is a tongue
Gildersleeve.
twister waiting to happen.
Yep. Yep.
I got Rensberries in my family.
Rensberries,
Yeah.
Snosberries.
I was just going to say that.
Oh!
Snosberries taste like snosberries.
I wish I could say they were Rosencrantzes because that would be great to go with your Gildersleeves.
Oh, would be.
All right.
So, anyways, if you're just now tuning in, Curtain Call.
God help you.
has gone off the
Just
tracks.
now tuning in.
If you're just now tuning in, you
Probably already tuned out.
We have this show every week from 6 to 8 p.m., and we like to try to feature people who are associated with the theater community that maybe don't get too much light shown on them. You know, like, for instance, Alan here is the treasurer of the Nevada State Thespian Board, and the State Thespian Board and all of the troops around the city that are associated with the different schools and stuff. This is a great organization, and it's not only that, but it offers a great deal of opportunities for students who are interested in theater to get more connected. And so, Alan, just in case people are just now tuning in or didn't hear us the first hour, can you break down just a general understanding of how people can get more involved?
Well, in terms of people in the schools, main thing is talk to your teacher. If your teacher doesn't know about it, have the teacher talk to myself or Sharon Chadwick. My email is playwrighthawk@gmail.com. If you are a professional theater person and you want to get involved, I'd say the first thing you need to do is, talk to a school nearby you, because most of the teachers are always looking for more help. Yeah. I know that Terrence helps out with a couple of schools. I help out with other schools because I have the time to, and the help is needed above all else because you never know what type of contribution or what type of need the teacher needs.
What about students in schools that don't have a
theater
program
at all?
They don't have theater at all. First thing is to try and find a teacher at the school and maybe start a drama club. You don't have to have classes to be involved.
Right.
I know that Del Sol just lost her program.
Yeah.
I think someone's trying to get some stuff going after school. I'm running a program without any classes right now. And if that does not work, then many times troops, for example, let's say you're at one of those schools that do not have a thespian troupe. Okay, you want to be involved? Talk to the school nearby you. And most of the time they will try and find a way to get you involved in their troupe as best they can.
Yeah, and you can do that. It's kind of cool.
Basically, never give up, never surrender.
Yes.
Okay.
And can I reach out to the high school theater teachers or those adults that do run after school programs or whatever? And can I appeal to you to share, meaning spread the word about the program, events, and plays that you are doing. And more importantly, try to connect with one another. Okay, if any theater teacher, I'm talking just me now here personally, anybody would ever come to me and I had something that they could use to better their program or use in a show or something, and I'm of the school of thought that I would rather that it be used and benefit a program or a production than sit in a closet. You know what I mean? And I have absolutely no reason to want another program to not do well. We're all in this business together because we love theater and we want people to be able to succeed in it. So instead of, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I'm just saying the very nature of the school district and how we have to run our everyday Monday through Friday and then the 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then the after school stuff, it kind of limits us what we can do. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like any way that you can do something to branch out of that and share. Because I can only speak for myself, but I have friends that are colleagues in theater programs across the city, and they are the most generous, loving people I've ever met. And these are people that want to bring more people to their shows and want to share and want to be more involved. Be one of those people. Try to do something that's maybe out of the norm to maybe reconnect with your fellow thespian educators, because if we can all kind of bring more people to theater, maybe we can bring more interest into the fact that these programs are dissolving, and that's the biggest crime. That's the biggest crime.
Can I add on to that?
Please.
I think that there's another way that the community can share, and I don't think a lot of teachers actually tap into it. So I'd like to make a recommendation too, which is I'm in a little bit of a unique position because I work in a show that is not particularly appropriate for those under 18.
Right.
However, I have also worked with Cirque, and I've worked with a number of other performers in town. Almost every one of these shows would be happy to do things for theater programs at the schools because they all went through what those students have gone through. Very few people work in tech professionally who didn't do it at some younger age. And so, getting a backstage tour of O, surprisingly easier than you might think if you just reach out and ask those people.
I would suggest that those that are in the professional industry offer that out too.
I think that's a great idea. The problem is most often they're very busy and they don't think about it.
They don't listen to our show at all.
Yeah, if they're listening, maybe they will. But it's something to think about. Like, just a simple email might actually get your kids an experience that is truly something unique and will inspire them and make them want to really look at something.
I wish that as a society and as a culture we did recognize this, and that this conversation didn't have to occur. As a parent, I hate, when schools. My daughter doesn't have a choral program. Has a drama program, not a choral program.
That's a crime.
What's that?
Harborview?
Moapa Valley.
Oh, okay.
Way out in the sticks.
Moapa doesn't have a choir program?
No. Doesn't even have a club. But it's one of those things where, as a parent who I didn't do drama in high school. I didn't come into it until out of college. But I did, all the other art and choir in high school, and those are some of the best memories that I even have.
Are you kidding me? I don't remember my teachers' names from high school. Some of them I do. The ones that I have, like I
people will remember your name, Mr. Ball,
Mr. Gildersleeve. But the thing is,
if only,
right? I always joke with my students. I should have taken my wife's maiden name because she had the coolest. It was Slater, Mr. Slater.
Oh man!
I mean, how cool!
People would call you Slater.
They would
lame.
Awesome. No. That's respect. Saved by the Bell.
Oh, no, I'm thinking Screech.
Yeah, no.
You could always change your name to Feeney. I think the kids would respect that too.
Mr. Feeney.
Mr. Feeney.
No, nobody knows that one either.
No one knows that.
Well,
Boy Meets World.
Thank you.
No.
So we are.
All right.
I was thinking Three's Company.
Okay, thank you.
No, but Slater would have been a better
Was it Mr.
choice
Feeney?
than
Oh no,
Ball.
it was Shirley.
Mr. Feeney was played by
Shirley
Ken Anderson.
Shirley Feeney on Laverne and Shirley.
I'll tell you though, we do have a
Yeah.
joke. Anytime my wife and I stand together at a function at Faith, we always say, "I'm Eric, I'm Emily, we're the Balls," and it's so funny because I don't care how conservative the crowd is. There's always somebody that goes, "Ha!" And it's like, yes, and it's just to amuse ourselves. It's just to amuse ourselves.
And you never do that with your arms around somebody in the middle.
No. We insinuate.
Okay.
We insinuate. But yeah, I mean, seriously though, I mean, what the heck was I talking about before?
You weren't.
for the
You
names?
interrupted me. I was talking.
Oh, were you? Oh, go ahead.
No, my thought is lost. My comment, in restating, I just wish that there was more involvement. And it comes from being a parent that I wish more parents were involved, because a lot of this stuff, getting out there and being interested in things starts at home. And I understand in today's society it is so much more difficult for parents to be an active participant in their child's lives.
Well, it's hard.
It's hard. It's not impossible. I mean, I did it, and I don't make a lot of money. I used to volunteer with my daughter's school all the time.
Can I say though, it's not as hard as being involved is easy as asking your student every single day what's going on, and being involved in their
being
career
engaged
at home. Because oftentimes, I don't know about you, but Emily and I don't have any kids. But when I go home, there has to be a half an hour of me just going, ugh, and just sitting there and just decompressing for a minute.
Well, and that's the problem. If you did have kids. That's a big part of where a lot of it fails, because the parent is at work all day doing all these things so that they can put food on the table, shelter, clothing. There's more work at home. I'm sorry.
At work at home.
And a marriage is a partnership. If you're a single parent, I get it.
But there are more than one way. There's more than one way to get involved.
Of course.
I mean,
and there's more than just theater.
Here's the thing: do what you can, but do.
But do exactly, because I mean, if you are blessed with a good job, and so you don't have the time, but you may have some money, contribute some money. If you have outlets or a little extra time, you're listening to us, and you know of something, you call in. If you have
or volunteer,
go and volunteer.
If you have old furniture or clothing or stuff, you never know. Theater groups may want that stuff.
Sew a little bit, or if you can throw a hammer, or just
why would you want to throw a hammer?
Right. Sorry.
That's awesome.
If you can throw a hammer, do that. No, but like the days of the show, I mean, you have no idea the incredible amount of work that a director has to do the hours prior to a production going up. If you can volunteer to be an usher in the lobby, for crying out loud, you probably are saving them a great deal of headache. I mean, any way that you can involve.
Even if it's only once.
Yeah,
and every other month or whatever.
Well, actually, you'd be amazed what you get done in one day, too. When I was at Basic, actually, for our first 2 shows of the year, we built the entire set in one night. We did what's called a tech lock-in. We stayed in the theater overnight, and we built the set in one day.
Extreme Makeover, Theater Edition.
And they were not
simple sets.
No, they were not simple sets either. We're talking about one of the sets was 10 different platforms going up as a bunch of 7 feet in
But can I tell you something? I want to say something, Alan. This is another reason why I think that a community board of some kind of website or something that extends beyond just the Clark County School District, that would envelop, and I'm being selfish here, even if it's a Facebook page.
Let's just build our own utopia.
If somebody...
I'm down.
Theater.
Has to be beyond
We can
Sim
lock
City
ourselves
here.
in.
But like, if a school put an SOS out, something happened tragic. Let's say something happened that prevented them from getting something done, and they have an opening night approaching. If they put an SOS out, if I didn't have anything going on that would prevent me from being there, you better believe that I would be there and help. It's kind of like.
And there are teachers who will do that. Dino Taronis, who's at Green Valley, did that a lot. He helped me out a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I help out when I can. There are teachers who love each other.
I just wish that
And
there
there
were
are
ways. If we didn't
students.
know you, though,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
There are
Yeah.
students who will do it. Students
yeah.
who don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
a theater department. Students who do, and figured out that their friend from junior high that moved across town, they need something or whatever. And students actually do communicate more,
Well,
and when
yeah.
they're further apart. And so you go, okay, let appeal. If you don't know how to communicate to the other ones, appeal to the students and say, ask the other theater people across the valley to ask their teacher. I mean, you can use your students to do that communication to get that stuff out there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, you're right. The adults who are working their butts off trying to get that show together because they're directing and they're processing volunteers and they're doing whatever else, they don't even think about how to, or may not even know how to reach the other people to ask for help. They don't know where to go.
come
And
together. Kumbaya.
I mean,
Right
yes,
now.
we can call in here, but let's appeal to the kids too and have them.
The best form of advertising is word of mouth. The best form of communication is spreading it. You know what I mean? You can't just act as a single individual. If you act as a
Talk and
group,
listen.
yeah. If you act as a group, and you can, like, I don't know. I just think it's important for us to talk and to make sure that we're all on the same wavelength, because it isn't a competition. There isn't a first prize for the best. I mean, even if you know what I say about prizes. Prizes are great, and I think it's important to set goals and try to achieve and overachieve. I think that's great. But at the end of the day, those trophies are collecting dust on the shelf. I mean, what is that going to do you if you can't step away from that experience with something tangible you can apply to something else?
That's true.
And so I don't know. I just think that it's important that we all work together to make that collective mission for each of our schools happen. And if somebody needs a last minute, scrim, and they don't have it, and we should be able to send out an SOS and let's help each other out. I mean, I just think that would be great. And not that it doesn't happen. I know it does to a certain small degree.
And we tend to end the show, and we're getting close to it tonight.
Oh, yeah.
We tend to end the show every week
Pensively.
with the same, support the arts.
Yeah.
And it's not just a matter of go to shows and support the arts that way. There are so many other ways. Volunteering time is one way. I know LVLT. They always have ushers, and hey, go ush. Is that ush?
Go ush.
Go ush a show, and they'll give you a ticket. They'll give you a ticket, to see the show.
Right.
And I guarantee for somebody who can't afford to go see all the shows, that's something that I do. I'm usually in shows to where I don't have a whole lot of extra time, and I want to support as many shows as possible, and I don't get to see every single show, and it's rough because I have friends in shows.
Everybody wants to go see. I wish I could have seen more shows this last couple weeks. I mean, there's so many things that are coming to an end. This weekend.
Your job does not end at 2:30 when your last class is. You've got, and as a theater instructor, you're building sets and you're prepping 5 shows.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. Theater teachers, I get it. If we can't make it to everyone's show, that's cool. But like I said, spread the word. There's going to be at least a handful of students that will be able to go and support. Let's support one another, and do the best we can. Because what we can do though, we can shoot an email, we can make a phone call. Those are things we can do. And if we all reach out and help each other out, scratch each other's backs. These programs that we do have can flourish.
And I think that's something that Ellen and Terrence are certainly instilling in the students now. They are the next generation. And
commendable, man.
Yes, and getting to that point. Intern Kelly's not listening.
You are our future.
But Lord help us.
Leave the children.
Thank you.
There is so much that we can do, and Eric, I know that your students will all remember you well into their adult lives, and that's something you can be proud of because of what you are giving them.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And hopefully that will expand as your students grow up into the world and have children of their own.
I hope so.
And we can reestablish the importance of these enrichment programs, and I say enrichment programs because it's much more than just performing arts.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I can tell who's done art stuff in a professional environment,
yes.
not as a professional artist,
When-
but
when
I mean,
I-
like,
when
I'm
I
a
was-
professional.
my-
I can tell who can collaborate effectively and then ask, and they have done some
But-
artistic things in their back.
but, when I was a kid, we had stone carving and
Basket weaving.
tablet weaving,
Underwater basket weaving.
Yeah, no, there was art, there was ceramics, there were the whole bevy of sports, and
There were options.
Yes,
there are options.
and when schools don't have options is when all those children that we don't want to leave behind are really being left behind because they have no concept of
Vote Glenn Heath, 2012.
You know what?
Seriously.
Write me in. Sure.
Going on that, theater is actually needed more than any other time because times are hard for people. Theater is the place to escape from their daily lives.
I love
There's
that.
one
Escape
student
reality.
that I have worked with who basically in her home life is horrible, but yet when she goes to theater, she's home.
She
It's
disappears, and it's a place where it's community. It's community.
No, she doesn't disappear. She actually shines. She
Yeah.
appears really who she is.
Well, listen, we hope that you will kind of join us every week from 6 to 8 p.m., and hopefully you'll be able to connect with a theater company in town that's doing a show, or maybe get involved yourself so that you may shine as well. We all have something very special inside of us. That creativity is what brings us together as a community, and that's what theater is all about. I just want to say thank you so much, Alan and Terrence. Nevada State Thespians in general, thank you for the hard work you do. You are blessed, and you are a blessing to everybody in this valley. Jamie,
Making magic tomorrow.
Making Magic tomorrow. It's over at Liberty High School, and go check that out. And Jamie Woodard, thank you for joining us. You are
My pleasure.
awesome.
Awesome duty on the bell.
Yeah, right?
I am a bell girl.
If you want to see this interview in video format, you can look at it at YouTube. Go to Curtain Call with Erik Ball. That's what you got to type in to search.
And the rest of us here, too.
And the rest.
Wow.
And please go to Facebook and like our Facebook page so that we can stay in contact with you and you know what's coming up in future episodes.
Next week, we already know?
We have Sweeney Todd coming on next week.
right.
And I think we're going to try to get involved a little bit with the Demon Barber.
Put his skills to work.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And so I hope you join us next week for intern Kelly, for Glenn Heath, our amazing
nice.
Glenn Heath, for our producer Chris Scott, and everybody here at KSHP. Thanks for tuning into Curtain Call, and we hope to see you next week.
Support the arts.
Yeah, support the arts. Get out and watch a show.
Swing your razor high.
Well,
Nice.
I've got to cut it for a show, so.
Well, good news. I did better than the students. There's about 10 questions there where I knew it was one of you.
It was not bad. He got just under half.
You should have said that.
You did.
I was going to.
You did better than everybody else, though.
He did
Well, yeah,
47.5%, which is
I-
5.5% better than the students yet. Well,
that's-
actually, one student.
That's
So,
really
and
cool.
here's the thing, like I said, like there are the questions here where
Yeah.
I
Well,
had
like
the
a
right
couple of the
answer.
questions are tied together, so if you miss
Yeah.
one, you're going to miss the second.
Yeah, and I knew it was one of the two, and I had the right answer.
Yeah, totally.
So,
Awesome.
go on those
You're the only person that got that one question right, and it's such an important question.
Really?
So I utilized your other
Because
Lazy
it's a
Susan.
safety question. Like, people could
Sagecraft
die.
Hey,
My what?
Sagecraft-
The
Craft
Lazy
Institute
Susan
Las Vegas.
that you gave
Oh,
me.
did you? Good.
I'm using it as a stand for this one. So I can actually turn
Is that
this
a
one.
Lazy Susan?
Yeah.
Nice. Next week, or you cover
So I can move them around.
I don't know. You know something? I haven't talked to Karen yet. I called her and
You know, would
said,
probably get most of them.
If she doesn't want to do it, yeah, please be on, please. But I don't know. I don't know if she wants to do it regularly anymore.
I don't think so either, but we need to ask because she hasn't been on in 2 months.
Yeah, I know. So I'm gonna call. I'll call her and I'll call you and we'll talk. But thanks for coming on. It means a lot. And you guys, it was great. I mean, talk about
And since we're still recording,
conversation.
we love you, Carrie Ann.
Oh
in
no,
case you're
Carrie Ann,
watching
we do
this.
love you. Maybe we can stop it.
Terrence,
before
I
that.
don't know about you. Actually,
I don't want to take her spot.
No. But seriously, thank you, Brother, for coming. It means a lot. Thank you. And thank you, Alan. And I'm thrilled you came at such short notice, brother. I owe you one. Seriously.
Oh, I just missed the game.
TiVo.
I need. Watch this touchdown.